I love to tell the story. We first came here 42 years ago, and my son Cliff was 6 years old. And I think we had about 7 people in nursery my first Sunday, and fewer of that in children's area. And so Cliff was there, and a Bible teacher asked a little class of 6-year-olds, he said, "Do any of you know anything about Moses?" Cliff shot his hand up. Nobody else moved. And the teacher thought, well, the preacher's kid, they just moved here from South Carolina. He knows about Moses. Said, "Cliff, tell us about Moses." He says, "Moses Malone, the center for the Houston Rockets." My point is, don't miss it. Don't miss it. It is that the words we use, the background we use, have to be appropriate for that particular setting, for that particular individual, for that particular culture. So we speak, what? With a prophetic voice, thus saith the Lord, like Jeremiah, like Peter at Pentecost. But also we speak with an evangelistic voice so people understand the terminology in which we use. And in all this, in the whole book of Acts, and I've read a large hunk of it this very week, I noticed that Paul and Peter used a different kind of approach of the church depending on where they were. Well, what Paul did at Ephesus, totally different from what he did at Corinth. And what Paul did at Laodicea was totally different from what he did in Rome. And so we have to understand we not only have to have a prophetic voice, Acts 2, an evangelistic voice, Acts 17, but a discerning voice, discerning. We know where we are. We know what we're dealing with. There has to be a discerning voice. If the church is to be bold and make a difference in the twilight zone, in the broken culture in which you and I awaken one day and find ourselves looking around saying, well, what happened? What happened? Jesus came, John chapter 1, full of grace, and what else? Truth. He came full of grace, and say it with me, truth. Full of grace and truth. Let me tell you something. If you only have grace, that's your heart. It'll not make it. If you only have truth, that's your head. It'll not make it. When we address the culture, we have to use grace and truth. Grace becomes soft and mushy, but you have to have truth there with it. And all of this is encompassed with love. Love without truth is a deadly thing. Did you get that? Love without truth, love is robbed of something that's essential.